Call the meeting order. Open prayer, Mr. King.
Father, we just thank you for giving us another day. Thank you for those who provide for us. We do thank you for the blessing you told us daily. We thank you for this nation that you give us to live in, the city. We need to lift up our leaders to you, that you give them the knowledge and the wisdom to lead us in the direction of peace. We ask this name in Christ's name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Face the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Councilman Ray. Councilman Reese.
Here.
Councilwoman here. Councilman Trump.
Here.
Councilman Chapman.
Here.
Here.
Here. Now I need adoption of the agenda.
I'd like to make a point beforehand. So there's a lot of former business that was left off, and many of the requests I made back before the October 30th are still not on the agenda. Particularly in the former business, we had the budget and prepared drive that I brought up previously that had been dropped off the agenda. And some of the topics I brought up in my email to you on October 30th were a plan moving forward for the city, the city organizational ordinance committees, the transfer of the licenses under the railroad that had been brought to us for over 2 years, the mayor pro tem position, council pay, a budget for the water department, a capital improvement plan, and a reserve for the city to determine what kind of what constitutes the proper amount to be kept in reserve.
Okay, man, I worked them in.
Are you trying to suppress these topics that are good for the whole city?
I worked them in on my agenda.
So you're suppressing
Do I
these
have
topics?
some, do I have some of them on here? That you requested, and some of them on here?
Yeah, but the agenda is still wide open, and this is business that the city needs to address. Why are you suppressing it?
I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Next on the agenda is approve the minutes for 10/15/2024. Need a motion to approve. I second. All in favor? Next on the agenda is the railroad crossings. Mr. G, touch base on it right here.
I believe teacher said, I turned in the copy of the contract. Is it okay?
When she sent it?
Pardon?
When did she send it?
I don't know, she just told me that she had said to you. I've talked to her.
Is this about the piping and the?
No, this the redoing.
Upgrade the crossing.
Yeah,
Upgrade
she
the
sent it to me. I thought it looked good to me.
Okay.
There's two different areas they were redoing, or three? Three, yeah.
Three.
So if that's okay,
Yes.
then,
It looked good from a legal point of view, yes.
all right, sir. Anyway, they wanted us to come up with $4,000 for Owacker Road, put the skirts, the rubber guards in place against the rail, and $3,000 for County Road 6 and 2,000 for railroad street.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing they were working was us to come up with a plan to close that feature of that road while they're doing that work. Talk to chief about it, and when we find out when we're gonna do it, I gotta get back to this guy, if y'all approve the contract, and then we get a time frame for that.
Next on the agenda is Clover Avenue repairs.
You gonna take any action on your contract? Yeah, so we gotta take some action.
Okay.
Moving on.
I
We
need a
authorized to do it.
One way to make a motion, I want to make a motion to proceed.
If y'all don't have any questions.
Any questions?
The railroad, paving the railroad crossing?
Redid it.
The contract, I'm just talking about.
Is that before or after Trussell does all their stuff?
Well, preferably it'd be before, but
Before.
they're gonna start their stuff if everything is, the last time I talked to Brian, he says probably the 1st of January, 2 weeks in January, that they would be ready to make the contract. Now, I don't know if they'll start immediately or not, but it's supposed to happen that first quarter anyway.
I think they're supposed to tear up everything there already.
Well, they can't get on the railroad.
They can't get within 10 feet of the railroad, Jonathan, so they won't, we could go on and do that.
And the contract covers double 2 lanes on Old Acton crossing.
I don't know, I didn't read the contract, I had to say.
Yeah, as long as it's wide.
It will be live.
So I mean, really, if y'all got questions, that's what this is for.
Yeah, that's,
So what are they?
is that a
exactly
widening
doing?
project or what?
So part, that I read, I don't have the contract, I don't know what it is.
Contract just basically said they're going to prepare those intersections.
Well, that's-
Apparently they're in disrepair, I take it.
Yeah,
And I can see them, and then they're gonna put them back in repair. And that's basically what the contract says, and if there's any fault of their own, then they would indemnify the city for that. If anybody were to get hurt or something while they're doing that work.
And they're asking for the city to contribute that, right? Like they want us to help pay for the buffer, the
That's
rubber
the first
buffer.
I've heard, that's not
Well,
what
this-
wasn't in the contract.
What they're telling me is what I got, the email I got says, continue with the agreement to send the, Miss Kathy Hill, she's over the job, she will do the contract, complete it, and return it to her. Then I'm supposed to get a call from Tim Lack of American Track. He'll be reaching out to us, and he returns to his office next week. He and I will both out this week over looking at the track. And this Mr. McCullough will work with the city and to get Margaret set up a purchase of the rubber rail seats. That's what all we have to do, the way I understand it, is purchase those rail seats.
And that's normal.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, but now we just furnished that money, they actually get the.
I would assume it's because they're subbing it to another
Yeah,
contract.
that's right.
And he says that I will stay in contact to develop a schedule and timeline, city can begin planning around that for the respective detours and paving plans. Now, the details I don't have, I don't know.
The contract referred to specifications, but they weren't attached to the contract.
Yeah, I don't have them.
Probably would be good to at least get a diagram or something of what they're going to do, so that, I mean, y'all actually know. I mean, if you're comfortable though with the amounts. So the contract they sent me is a page, maybe a page and a half. It's just basically language that we need to repair these, we need your permission to prepare them. If something happens, we're gonna indemnify the city. We need your cooperation in getting this done. That's basically what your contract says. It didn't have the specs or anything attached, when they're gonna do it, how they're gonna do it, or who they're subbing it to.
That's all
Yeah.
that's what I got.
So basically, the mayor just needs authorization, either sign that contract, or y'all can table it for more information. Or you can say no to the contract.
Just going back with the way it currently is, would be pointless.
As far as width, or what are you talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
It's currently a one-car crossing.
Oh, that.
So definitely, it sounds like he's wanting to make sure they're all 2 lane.
Mhm.
Is there any particular reason why one's 4,000, one's 3,000, one's 2,000?
Well, I said that they're gonna get a double lane.
It's gonna be a double lane, but we don't have it in writing.
The 2,000 or the 4,000?
4,000.
Okay.
So this is double lane now.
No. Well,
Yeah,
once
it's just-
once upon a time it was, but now,
It was a double lane before it got in the
Oh,
shape
so,
it's in now.
yeah, 4,000 is, yeah, for old active coach, yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So
double
they
lane
probably gonna
before it
double
got-
lane it.
And the shape is in now.
Right.
So they're gonna go back and make it like it's supposed to.
it's supposed to be upgraded, but I see John before. I can call this Mr. Peters and get, Reverend Licata, whichever one can give me a diagram of it.
And just for clarification,
All right, well,
Okay, well, I'll make a motion, we table this until we get the clarification on these crossings.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I think, well, no discussion. I think we could make the motion pass and give the authority pursuant to the requirement being met. That way we don't delay it any further. I mean, all you have to do is make the motion.
Yeah, you can make it contingent. Do you have any idea when they want to start?
As soon as possible, that's what I can tell you that, Mr. Jean, you told me that.
So you talked to, which one of them, the lady or the?
Both Peters and, you know,
So are you asking the council to give you authority to sign the contract subject to it being 2 lanes on all of them? Is that what
I
you
know
want?
railroad won't be 2 lane. It's not 2 lane
It's a driveway, basically.
Railroad, right, basically a driveway. Railroad drive.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
comply with what he's asking.
You know, railroad drive is basically a driveway, that's why it's only a $2,000 deal. Okay, so can I remake my motion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go on.
You can withdraw your
Yeah,
last.
I want to withdraw my last motion, add a new motion to allow the mayor to enter into this with the railroad, continue to them doing.
Contingent on them
Yeah,
verifying.
yes,
The roads are 2 lanes, they're supposed to be 2 lanes.
yes,
that's right.
Is that right?
yes.
Okay. Now somebody will have to second it if it's due to pass.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Unanimous.
All right. Next on the agenda, I think it was Clover. I talked to the developer on that, and he's agreed to fix Clover. So when they come out doing the work for us, he'll get that done. Next on the agenda is Old Akron Road repair.
What are the details of the agreement? Are we making any promises to him, or is he just going to what level is he going to repair it?
Well, he said, Mr. Jean, you was out there with him in the, contractor.
Yeah, there was 5 different places that he's gonna repair. It was in disarray. And, they're all marked. You can tell where he marked from the contractor. And when those are patched, then he said that he was, washing his hands of it. The city removed the phone from it, with foreclosure.
And that road has never gotten seal coat right, and so
One portion of it, he said it had, but the only one portion that I can see, and I think that's where part of the misunderstanding is, that sometime back, probably in 12 or 13, he had somebody come out here and put the seal coat on the section about 150 foot long. The rest of the road was in pretty good shape then. And since then, we've got 5 places that need some action. Now, here's where the different thoughts are. He says that we accepted that road when he did that work. I can't find, or we've looked all over this place for any documentation or resolution where we accepted the road, and I can't find it. I went back to 2004. He said this happened sometime in 10 or 12, 2010 or 12. We didn't find anything. I can't find it. He said we give him a $12,000 bond money back. I can't find it, or teacher can't find a check where we paid him $12,000. He can't show me a receipt or a canceled check where he got it back. So it's he said, she said. But what we need to look at as a city, I think, is that street has been there 20 years. We need to let him fix that street, and us take the responsibility. We may get 5, 7, 10 years down the road, we'll probably have to do some more work on it. But it's gonna get worse and worse. You can go down there right now. One place is getting down to the base, and when it gets through that, it's gonna cost more and more. So it's just, y'all gonna have to decide what we're gonna do.
That was my concern. If we're just patching it and not bringing it up to the city standard, then we'll have to fix it later.
Well, we can't bring it up to our standard. If we did, we'd have to rip that whole road out and start all over.
But just through the sill coat.
Or
Through a sill coat, yeah, because you patch it and no sill coat, and it'll wash away.
But I'm
We
not,
always went on your recommendation, Mr. Parker.
well, I'm not an engineer, but I'm saying we need to solve that problem. And I don't know how we're gonna solve it if we don't do it.
If we don't let him do
Let him fix the road, the bad places down there, and then
The five you want.
yeah, the 5 that he's agreed to fix, and he's got one inlet chamber that's busted, he agreed to fix that also. I'd let him fix that thing and let's take it and go on and forget about it.
But he's gotta fix it, it's still his.
Well, then I don't know, you have to ask council.
I mean, if we ain't done nothing to it,
Well,
if we haven't accepted it, it's still
We
his.
have.
Somebody has done
somebody has went down there and touched that road. They're sitting here on the city council and we got witnesses seen them doing it. So it really is our road anyway.
So, Mr. We have another developer in the room who has to bring his roads up to the city spec. And it's unfair to him and to the other subdivisions to allow this one to go by. I mean,
Yeah,
I agree, it needs to be fixed.
We're talking about a 20-year-old road.
When that road was
That's
put in,
what the
this is
same
a fire,
20 years ago
so
was
they
like
can
that.
do that.
I heard, once we touch that road,
Whatever portions of it you touch, you would be assuming that responsibility. So, I mean, just because you fix a section, don't mean you take a mile. So, I mean, part of our problem is we never define what portion of the road we're taking. And it's just like he seal coated part of it. How much of it did he not seal coat?
Well, that street is probably 1,500 feet long.
So he did 150 feet. So, I mean,
He's done 50%.
yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of, when it comes time to accept the road, it's good to define it,
Yeah.
Starting from the intersection of Smith, we gonna go to the driveway of whoever, or we're gonna go to the next intersection. But, the problem is 911 gives these road names, but that's not necessarily the way it was when y'all accepted the road. It was based either on a map or on Mr. Barker's recommendation.
Okay.
So, I mean, to answer your question, if we do work on it, yeah, we accept that, but that doesn't mean we accept the whole road.
But the other sucky part is, like you said, it's a 20-year-old road.
mm-hmm.
If we don't take advantage of him offering to fix this, then we're never gonna get it.
And the bigger question is how many homes are on the road?
A bunch.
The hundreds of them.
So, I mean, how long have they been out there? How long have they been paying taxes?
That started in 2004.
That's part of what we do.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's just a call
If
you
he
have
has agreed
to have to make.
to spend some money on it, then I think we need to take advantage of that. I know it's not the ideal situation, but
But it's
we
not.
better get what we can get while we can get it.
Mhm.
I mean, let's think it through. If he had a $12,000 bond, I'm sure he would much rather forfeit that bond to you.
Absolutely.
Fix this.
Absolutely. And
So had you just kept it behind, you'd be 12,000 of the good. So repairs that are gonna cost how much?
I don't know, I didn't want to get in there, that's between.
You got any idea?
And contracts.
I did.
$28,000.
So, I mean,
He don't
if
pay.
he's gonna spend 30 grand to fix 5 spots plus an outlet, he gonna spend $35,000?
I'd say more.
Well, the city paid for the 2 lots right across the road from him. He got a lot, yeah, no, we bought them. And he got a lot more
Is
than
this road
30,000.
out here?
No, but the lots that we purchased are right there, and it's a lot more than 30,000, so,
Yes.
I mean,
No, you're talking about that, yes.
talking about take what we can get, well, he took what he could get, so I mean, it's not like we ain't got no money.
I understand.
Well, the question I have, if we don't do it, what's going to happen?
Oh, the simple
That's right.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do anything.
The simple point is, could we ask him to add ply sill coat to the remainder of the road along with the repairs? That way they'll last longer. I mean, it's not all or nothing, we can come up with a compromise in the middle. So can we go ahead and say, will you apply seal coat after the patches?
He
Because,
said he did.
well, no, to the rest that he didn't. I mean, there's a compromise, and I don't think it's too much to ask for to put seal coat on it. That way, even if we are accepting a patch, because essentially we are accepting the road if we accept this repair. And, I mean, he said,
Essentially, we have already accepted some of it.
no, we haven't.
Somebody went out there and passed it.
There is no law that says that. That's just a standard process, the way you think about it, because the idea is that someone could sue if something like that happened, but someone would have to bring suit to enforce that. There is no law that says if the city touches the road. But I agree with Mr. Barker that the city should take responsibility for the road, but since we're getting it repaired, can we ask for the seal coat? That would give us 10, 15 more years of life out of that road, rather than us having to repair it again in 5 to 10 years.
When is this work expected to start?
Yes, sir.
When is it expected to start?
The job, I guess when we agree that we'll accept the road.
So his repairs are contingent on the city saying we accept the road?
He didn't want to do nothing. But we've talked about it, and he decided, okay, I'll go ahead and do this, but when I do this, I'm done. That's exactly what he said.
And your recommendation was,
Well, Earth can have this.
We can tell us that he's not gonna do anything. We can also tell him we're not gonna give him a building permit, or we're not gonna allow him to do anything else in the city. I mean,
Hold
it can go both ways.
No.
I mean, we can't ask all the other developers to go do things up to our specs and, say, oh, well, it's okay for one, but not the others.
But we're talking about a 20-year-old road.
But if that's.
Well, we got other 20-year-old roads on the other side of the city, James, that is in the same situation. Matter of fact, 5 streets in the subdivision, that as soon as this goes through, that developer's gonna be knocking on the door too. What are we gonna tell him?
Well, if there were different specs in place when y'all first allowed this road to be put in, that's the specs you want to operate. Whatever those were.
Right, but he just finished building over there.
Yeah, you're talking about something different. I'm just saying, you can't change your specs 20 years in the game. You can change them, but once he has started construction of that road and got it approved under the old standards, he's approved. So, I mean, if you got a 4-inch space, now you're going to have to require an 8-inch space. You can't make him go back and redo that.
And all those other things, Black Creek Trail, Black Creek Way, all those are specs. Those roads are real specs. They have been seal coated. And he should have, I don't know if he sent a letter in yet or not, requesting us to accept them, and they're accepted. They've been a year, and he's done what he said he's supposed to do, or done what he's supposed to do.
You were
We were talking about the homeowners in there, organizing their HOA.
right.
But then they would have to sue him to get this done. Well, that's not happening.
Or they would have to raise the money to do it themselves.
Right. And that's not gonna happen. But all we're gonna catch is a lot of flack for us not doing anything.
So y'all just kind of have to kind of decide, do you want to take action on it tonight? Do you want to put it off? Do you want to give Mr. Barker the authority or give the mayor the authority to negotiate with him concerning the seal coating? Sounds like to me, I think Mr. Barker is recommending that you take what you can get.
I don't think he's gonna, he don't wanna do this.
He don't even wanna do this.
So,
He don't even
but
wanna do this.
I would say this, it's time to give him a time constraint to this to happen. In other words, y'all can't wait another 180 days. So if he's gonna do it, get it done within 90 days or how many days.
Well, the problem is these quotes are 30-day quotes. And after the first year, you know it's gonna be an increase in material. So that price is not gonna stay good for another 90 days.
And how many
And if we don't
times
do
should have
something-
had people to come out here and give quotes?
This is the 3rd time.
And they ain't gonna keep doing this.
I called yesterday just to be, someone told me I better call the supplier on the asphalt. He said he'll honor this price, and he's $73 a ton is what it costs us for the first year. After that,
And if we wait, can they get it done before first time?
I don't know, but we can lock it in.
That's kind of my point.
Right.
If y'all take action now, that gives them the opportunity to treat this stuff.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
because if we wait, we're starting to have rainy season, it's gonna start.
And cold
So it's gonna get even worse. You know, rain, it gets wet, the ground freezes a little bit, it's gonna be even worse. I mean, if we don't take some kind of action, it's just gonna get worse.
Tonight.
Well, we were about to table it, you were moving on. Like, I mean, I say we could easily make a motion to ask if he would still coat, and if he doesn't, we take what we can get. But if you don't go back with a negotiation tactic, then we're losing on both ends. I mean, you've got to ask. Like, can't guarantee an answer, but I mean, you can ask.
So
Well, I had to get another quote,
you want to do the motion?
or you,
I make a motion that we give Mr. Parker for the authority to negotiate, see if we can get steel coat, as well as the repairs, and, if not, proceed with the, repairs.
And let's be specific about the repair. You said repairing 5 designated locations along with an inlet. Is that right, Mr. Parker?
Mr. Barker,
He's gonna
I was
repair,
getting a little bit of expertise over here. He said we're going to have about 15,000 to do that.
so he's gonna repair 5 specific locations. And an inlet, you called it an inlet?
Yeah, that's the end. Somebody crushed it. Somebody got on it with I don't know where the garbage truck or what, but it crushed the top of it in. He said, I'll take that up and report, fix it.
And is this action limited to the first year? You gonna give him a time frame?
I would, for Mr. Barker, not for the repairs, right?
Well, it's kind of hand in hand, because I assume y'all not gonna accept the road till he makes the repair.
Right.
I mean, that'd be kind of foolish. Once you accept it, it's yours.
Yeah, that's one of the motions for Mr. Barker to have the authority to,
Enter into negotiation.
yes, and to set the time frame.
Okay.
Give Mr. Barker the authority to set the time frame, so that based on the weather and what have you, he's got more expertise to set the time frame than I do.
But if he says no,
no,
but if he says no,
Go
are we still
forward
gonna
with
I
accept?
said just, yeah, Mr. Barker still has the authority to accept and move forward with
Accept
the
the offer
negotiation.
he's got on the table now.
Yes.
okay.
That's what, as I understand, Mr. Ricci, that's the motion he's making.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that,
Me too.
but if he says no, then
Still go forward.
we still go forward with him doing what he says he'll do.
Yeah.
Gotta be a second.
I'll say,
All
maybe
right.
worth a try.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous.
Okay, next on the agenda is Old Acton Road repair.
Yes, sir, I got, quotes on it, and it's, basically it's 0.6 miles from, County Road 6 to 7255. That goes to where the, Trophy Utilities main, gas main stops right now. And that's where they gonna start ripping the road up and going all the way to the city, or all the way to the toll. And, the lowest bid, the lowest quote we got was, $39,079.53 for the hauling and labor and the material at the present price of $73 a ton. They say it's gonna take 880 tons, which would be $64,240. Total price of $103,319.53.
50, how many?
Sorry,
50, how many cents?
53. And that quote was given to me October the 9th, and I know the material quotes will be okay, but, and I'm sure they'll honor this, but it's not be iffy there,
How much footage are you talking about?
Well, it's half a mile, that's what it is, 0.6.
A little over half a mile.
They just need to understand what you're talking
Yeah, and it's 20 foot wide, that's 2.5 inches up asphalt binder, wear surface, and it's gonna be from County Road 6 to 7255. And then there is where Trophy Utilities is supposed to take it, and we pay the whole thing all the way.
From that point on,
Oh,
they'll pay that.
right,
about. County Road 6 to where?
7255. A whacking road,
2-inch line,
2.5 inches.
2.5 inch.
Or they go to wear surface, you know.
What was that total?
23,000. Now, this is another thing, 100,000 is all we can go, you know, but the engineer told me that we can divide the labor, since it's two different suppliers, we can divide the labor be 39,000, what I told you, what was 79.53, and the material 16,240. So that's two different suppliers, and those two total 103,319.53.
Those two together total what now?
Sir,
What's the total?
319.53. That was the lowest quote we had.
I need to suspend the rules.
Yeah, if it's the first time it's been up, but is this the first time you brought this up? Yes.
We've talked about paving that road previously.
But it's not, when does it start? Is there urgency for this meeting? I mean, it starts in January, right?
Well, he told me in the first quarter, but he said by the second week in January that they had it, he said they had it 75 to 85% of engineering done. And then the money has been already appropriated, the money's not the issue. It's a $1.75 million project. And he even offered us to tap on to his quote for his portion of paving, but I don't know if we will wait that long enough.
Would we be allowed to improve that if we wanted to and come back with a seal coat? Which, like, our,
Well, it's a wire service seal coat, would be the same thing.
okay, so similar to what the county did.
It's 2.5 inches thick too.
And so, we could suspend the rules, but it doesn't sound like it's a rush, and we can handle it at the next meeting.
It's probably not gonna be a problem, but like I said, now this quote was given to me on October 4th, October 9th, I'm sorry. And usually these things are 30 days.
We got some more roads we need to work on too. Mr. Jean, we had looked at.
Well, y'all asked me probably several months back, you wanted Coogan, more folks on Coogan, you could trace over in Magnolia, and of course we did Clover, Shelby, we didn't talk about that. And then Lake Road. Lake Road's got right up there that's, it's probably 125 feet long. It just keeps getting bigger than it fits, but patching, we need to fix that when we get the time of the month. A lot of traffic on that road.
A lot of traffic.
It's terrible right there. I mean, it's just kind of hard.
And that quote was $41,963. And the previous mayor asked me to get a quote on Scenic Crest, and it was $29,628.42. I had other options on Oak Road, but I mean, we're not gonna do that anyway, so hopefully trucking material will take care of that. That's pretty much it. All that I got.
We got $689,000 in the road fund just sitting there. So I would like to suspend the rules and make a motion to spend up to $250,000 on the roads.
What roads is that? What roads are included in that 250,000?
Y'all can tell me. We gonna do Oak
It's just
Road.
you got a road that you know that needs working on,
About 25.
it'd be reasonable.
We earlier got about 55.
I mean, on the topic of other roads, I mean, Brookhaven Drive was dropped off the agenda, and we need to move forward with that now that we've got the grant. I've also communicated with the county commission, and they will, this is just something they do for every city, they will match half of any money you have to come out of pocket up to $150,000. So of the former quote for $515,000 for the job, we got the grant for $350,000. That leaves a little bit, about $265,000, probably closer to $250,000 now. The county commission would pay up to, $125,000 of that, depending on the total quote. And so that would leave our portion being $125,000 to completely shred that road, control the water, and fix it right all the way through Socotra up to our current standards. So if we're going to allot money for roads, I'd like to include that and move forward.
Which road?
Brookhaven Drive.
I need
County's got to pay part of that.
Yep, county will pay half of whatever we have to pay up to $150,000
Oh,
on Brookhaven Drive, because we got a grant for the other part of it.
Senator Hill actually mentioned when I was down in Orange Beach that he actually went to bat for us, and actually money came back in, and that's the first thing he said was, you know, if we can get it to Margaret, let's get it there, because they hadn't received anything in a good while. So appreciate him doing that for us.
Why wasn't that grant in the city of Margaret? Why just Brookhaven Drive?
I asked the council's permission to apply for a grant for Brookhaven Drive.
I mean, we got over 250 miles of roads in Margaret.
What's your point? I asked for a grant for Brookhaven Drive.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wasn't the grant for the city of Margaret? Why was it not?
Because the grant had to be for a specific project. And so I brought it before the council, we voted and moved forward. So pick one road this year, next year we can pick a different road. It's the way the grant works.
Again, my point is for the city, not just Brookhaven Drive.
It is that Brookhaven Drive is a city road, correct?
It is, but the Margaret city, like I said, there's over 200 miles.
This is a great thing for the city, and this is, it's putting in a repair that's long overdue. And that road is in terrible shape as it is. So what's the next?
You're about Coogan Road.
What's that?
You're about Coogan Drive.
Yes, I have.
When?
Probably about 6 months ago when it was first brought up in this meeting. But
We'll go tomorrow.
what's your?
I'm just making a point.
David, didn't you meet with the grant writer? You sat down with the grant writer with the city as a representative of the city. Did you not sit down with the grant writer for the city?
Let's get back on the
Well, she
agenda.
spoke to us and said that you did. Why didn't you bring it up to him?
Let's get back on the
I'm not
agenda.
talking about grant writer for road.
Just hold up. Let's get back on the agenda. I need a motion to, pay for the roads Mr. Jean got the quotes on, suspend the rules, and that was how much?
103.
That's gonna be about 141,000.
The 103. 41, 42, and then 30.
Hey, y'all, Coogan Road was the first one I mentioned.
I thought it was talking about Old Acton Road.
Well, no, but I'm getting to
Rocky agenda?
it. He's talking about the 100, what'd you say, 250?
103,319. That's Old Acton.
That's 103,000. And then we had, Coogan Drive, and we had, this is one I got quotes on. Y'all don't want to do it, you just tell me you don't want to do that.
No,
We're just trying to figure out what everybody's talking about. We don't know.
Old Acton Road.
See, we don't know.
Y'all understand that?
Yes.
Okay, then we had Euclid Trace, which is over in Magnolia. It was 10,816, 61.51. 10,861.51.
How much was coaching?
Coogan's $11,650. And we also had one up here on, Woodland Terrace, Woodland Circle, we gotta fix that place too, and it was about $14,000. But I was trying to incorporate it into these other jobs some way, form, or fashion, keep from paying that mobilization fee. So I got it, $142,393 is what.
What is that?
That would be the roads that I got to quote. That's Coogan Drive. That's, Euclid Trace. Acton Road, and then we got a patch right up here, on Woodland Circle that needs fixed.
What about your Lake Road and Scenic Crest?
I didn't put it, Lake Road in there, but we got, if they approve the 250, we'd have that.
I think that's what they're trying to figure out. What roads
That's
are we talking about?
$211,000, $211,453.
Includes what roads?
Old Acton, Coogan, Lake, Scenic Crest, Magnolia, and Woodland. That's a total of $211,435. So, if we approved up to $250, that would cover all of our spots. $250,000 would cover all of
You're not
our
gonna,
9 spots right now.
Right now,
we're not gonna include for Beaver Drive in that?
not right now.
So are you taking Coogan Drive or just for the two houses that are on Coogan Drive?
Well, Brookhaven will be on the next go round.
It's not on this go round. It's not happening.
What's not happening?
Suspending the rules. We can do it all or do none of it.
So where's all these roads at on the agenda? Where's all the paperwork at for all these roads?
It was like 3 months ago, maybe. I might be wrong.
We're sitting here discussing amounts and we ain't got no paperwork on none of this.
Well, you should have it somewhere.
I ain't got the first bit.
Well, Mr. Barker ain't out there just shooting from the hip. He's obviously checked on these roads.
I guess our lack of communication shoot from the hip then.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't even on the agenda.
Excuse me, Matt, are they gonna do the whole Brookhaven from one end to the road right there?
It's
Are they doing
one,
the whole thing,
it's 1 mile
1 mile?
from the entrance to,
Horton Drive.
All right, let's get back on the policy for it. I need a motion to suspend the rules.
If we go do the package, you will have to have a motion to suspend the rules. I don't think y'all discussed all these in either one meeting. If you're gonna just deal with Old Acton Road, it sounds like you've been dealing with it for a while. So that's y'all's call.
Need a motion?
I make a motion to do the $103,319.53 for Old Acton Road. Only.
2.5 inch founder on County Road 6 for $72.55.
Yes, 0.6 of a mile, yes. That's my motion.
I second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. Unanimous.
I make a motion to move forward and allow the city engineer to put out for bid for the Brookhaven Drive project and for the city to allot up to $150,000 to complete the project.
Matt made the motion, need a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Councilman Ray said, we had Senator Lance Bell and Jim Hill fought for this money, and spent a long time in the plan. I mean, this is, talk about 20 years, this road's been here 20 years, and it's in pretty bad shape. And we've got this money and this opportunity, and this road services probably 1,000 people every day.
Question, because
So you have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? 2, 3, 4. New business.
Okay, approve the minutes for 10-5.
Hold on a second. Skip through districts.
It's not on.
It's not on here.
It's on the one that posted on the city website.
New business approved minutes for 10-5-2024.
11,
Yeah, 11-5-2024.
that was I'll make a motion to set these minutes as written. I'll be chief clerk.
All in favor?
No, discussion, these minutes have several fallacies in them. We've got things out of order that didn't occur as they're reflected in these minutes, and the meeting lost quorum at the beginning, so this meeting should not have continued past that point, so, these minutes are categorically wrong.
Any further discussion?
Any further discussion?
Got a motion and a second.
Need them, call for a vote to accept the minutes. 11-5-2024. All in favor?
These minutes are,
All in favor?
these minutes are the public record of the city.
All in favor?
All opposed?
Abstain. I was voting.
One abstention.
Next on the agenda, approve the public hearing minutes, 11-12-2024.
I don't know that that's necessarily necessary, but you could do that. Basically, you had a public hearing and you didn't really take any actions. You don't have to adopt. You just have to note that you had a public hearing when it comes time to adopt one or the other.
Okay.
I think what y'all decided to do was post all the maps, and now you're gonna have to have a public hearing to decide which one you're gonna take.
This decision doesn't require a public hearing. The process requires at least one public hearing, but the decision does not.
The public has a right to comment on whichever one accepts, unless you accepted that one y'all had a public hearing, you gotta have a public hearing.
If we start over, yeah. But again, only one is required.
Right, for the one that you had a public hearing on, which was the district, which was option one. But my understanding is that's not the one that everybody wants to adopt. So you have to give the public the right to speak for 2, 3, and 4.
I talked to Brett today and he said exactly what Erskine just said.
So y'all basically got to set a public hearing.
Yeah.
And you can do that at a regular meeting. You can either have the public hearing immediately before or during your normal call meeting. Just, allot 15 to 20 minutes, give the public the opportunity to speak, and vote at that meeting, or you can take what they say and come back and vote at another meeting.
Next on the agenda is, Sunrise Road. Yes.
All right, so, I was getting a lot of messages and, complaints about the roads in Sunrise. So I went out myself and, looked at ones that had the most damage and needed repair. And I had multiple occasions of where residents in Sunrise were told that they, once construction was done, that they would repave it. And they came out and put that gravel stuff down. And now, as y'all can see in those packets, I've got pictures of a cul-de-sac where it's maybe a foot, 2 foot gap between the road and the residents' driveways. And that's the worst. So, I'll take responsibility for dropping the ball and not looking at these roads prior. But it was also never brought to my attention. It was previous member. But now I'm trying to take action on it and get these people taken care of, because they've been there just as long as Brookhaven or anybody else. And they've made complaints and got promises from prior administration, and nobody's come through on them. So, I know it's the first time bringing it up, but I feel they've waited long enough. So, I want to make a motion to suspend the rules to allot $63,095.15 to fix Sunset Circle, Starlight Drive cul-de-sac, and a patch on Starlight Drive.
Were you aware those roads were repaired by the county and the city paid for it in 2019?
Yeah. But that's not what they were promised. That ain't what they was promised. That ain't. Whoever was sitting in that mayor's seat.
Mr. Parker?
I was gonna ask, Darius, is the material quoted in there? That seems awful cheap.
Yes, no, he said that's everything for massive.
So you think his quantities would be something other than material?
Well, normally when he quotes stuff to us, we have to buy the material separate to get it. We just do it, and I don't see it on here where it says the city's gonna pay for the material. I just wondered if that 63,000 would cover the material. And there's also another issue down there too, there, so I guess you saw, right down in the bottom of that, the lowest point there's some drainage issue.
Right.
And look, that guy has been approached before, he don't want us to cut across his yard. And it needs to be, the water needs to be taken out of that low place and carried to the cross.
Right past the.
Did you talk to him about that?
No. I went to the cul-de-sac right there. Is where they had the two contacted me in the Sunset. Mm-hmm.
Right now, you got a motion to suspend the rules, but you even address it. We gotta get a second and vote and go forward.
Well, we can get Mr. Barker to contact him. We gotta move forward with something. They've waited long enough.
Yeah, I get that. We need to get him.
It'll die for lack of a second,
Yeah.
and then you can decide whether you want to put it on future agendas or not, along with
Yeah,
your other road projects.
I'm not gonna make a motion to
You don't have to do anything.
You can
Just
make-
ask like a second.
When you do the agenda next time.
Well, Mr. Parker, you mind calling Massey and seeing that, making sure?
Was that,
Contact the Massey, making sure that.
with the Coughlin, Jason Coughlin?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Anyway, yeah, I'll do it. Just want to confirm, what I'm gonna be asking is just confirm that was material weight.
Yes,
No more adding to it or anything.
yeah. It was Roger that emailed me.
Okay. Yeah, him and Jason they do the quote.
That's a new
Also, talked to you, David, I don't know if you had figured out something, because you know, we talked about that sewage smell.
You know what, I'll be honest with you, just like you mentioned, for wet scrubbers on exhaust stack, at what level do you consider acceptable?
Right.
And how much do you want to invest? Because we're looking at $80,000 from what I talked to somebody.
As of right now, around about.
And I can't guarantee that it will eliminate all the others. That's the problem.
So it's bad, it's not, it's in Sunrise.
Now, the lift station we upgraded has improved tremendous.
It has throughout the day, but like closer to nightfall, it gets worse, and then like, you can smell it walking into your door. Every house in there you can smell it. And it's not so bad in your house, but outside your house.
And there are some houses that do have problems with their wells themselves that have created odor issues. But like I said, at what's acceptable? That's what they're asking me. You know, how far do you want to go with?
That's where, to me, is where it's the worst at. As soon as you go to Turner, Starlight, and that little ditch is where it's, like, that's where I smell the worst.
And how much were you saying?
I've heard, he told me just verbally, close to $80,000.
80,
Yeah. And that's not even.
not 8, 80.
8. And that's not guaranteeing. I mean, I don't have any control over it.
And what would that do?
It is a charcoal filter ventilation system they installed in the well. It's still gonna ventilate. So I'm not, and just like he said, he can't guarantee that it will eliminate 100%. Just like the wet scrubber on emissions, they're permitted for allowing variables into the atmosphere. So at what point, that's what I'm asking, what's allowable on an odor? I mean, you know what we're dealing with.
To second, if I may, I shared some information with David. I was gonna try to bid on that lift station for Sunrise because my company directly does replacements for wet wells to eliminate that. The only way that you can completely eliminate the smell that comes out of a wet well from those lift stations is by eliminating the wet well altogether. Yes, if he says $80,000, the proposal that I was preparing, but I ran out of timeline because you already made a decision. I understand that, but it was going to be around the $120,000 to $140,000 range. But that goes to eliminate 100% of odors and inconvenience on the citizens, while also having standby and alternate redundant equipment installed to where anybody who has to go into the pit is no longer in a safety concern. It eliminates all that. That technology is out there. If I can be of assistance to the city, please let me know. I can share more documentation on those Overwatch systems that are designed specifically for close contact with residents.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
I have some topics. Since you asked Councilman down there if they have topics, I've got some things. So we had our special meeting on the budget, and, it sounded like the, auditor had been told what to say and didn't realize the scope of our city and our operations. So we have waterworks, and we have water department and sewer that bring income. And so, sounds like we really need to like ramp up and sit down and work on this budget and not just, take an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, we have a lot going on here that we need to plan for. Now, back to Brookhaven Drive, I'm gonna go ahead and make another motion, but then I have some more topics. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we allow Keith Hager to get updated quotes and put out bids for the work so that he can get the process started so that we don't miss the time frame for, taking advantage of this audit. So again, my motion is to allow Keith Hager to get an updated quote and put the work out for bid.
Isn't that the motion that we just did earlier?
No, I made a motion to approve the money, not for Keith Hager to do work. So
I wrote down bids on Brookhaven Drive.
Yeah.
Engineer to take bids on Brookhaven Drive.
I made a motion to approve up to $150,000 for the repairs for Brookhaven Drive, not to give the engineer.
You said for the engineer to take bids on Brookhaven Drive. I mean, maybe you didn't intend to, but that's what you said.
All right. So I'll reword my motion. All right. I can make a motion for us to allow the city engineer to continue with the work he's doing on Brookhaven Drive.
Is there any reason he's not gonna continue?
We just have to approve paying him for the time and him moving forward. It's just it's everyday business, but I'd rather do it right.
I thought he was already doing work.
He's done the initial, he's waiting for word to continue.
I mean, that's something I don't know. I assume you're talking about Mr. Hager.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a letter or something when he's saying he's needing authorization to do something?
Got an email where he and I communicated with the grant company, or with the grant, Aldot, and basically they said all they're waiting for is, us to start sending them invoices where we paid up or hired for the work. And so he just told me on the phone that he needed approval to move forward. So that motion?
Your motion is just approval for him to move forward?
Yep.
I'll second. I think he's already doing it, but.
You got a motion?
Motion and second, any discussion?
Again, we've been talking about this for over a year. I put in the work, got the grant, money that's on the table. And as I mentioned before, when I applied for the grant, we get it this year, we can continue to apply for it in the future as well, and continue to repair other roads. So, I mean, if we don't pursue this, then that's going to look poorly on us in the future for trying to go from more grants like this and this grant again.
More
Is
discussion?
there a timeline of some kind that you know are approaching, or?
They're annual grants, they're all, pretty much all have a timeline. I'll find out what the cutoff is, but I mean, it's a pretty large road project, and we have to put it out for bid and follow all the proper procedures. So it's gonna take time, and so, like, delaying it does nothing but, lose more time.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, Keith has been in touch, I assume, with the mayor. He's been in touch with you. And do you know of what needs to be done, like, right now?
Yeah, he needs to start putting out bids, and start the process, because you have to put out bids, publish them for a certain amount of time, and then accept the bid packets, and then open the bid packets. And so, and until he does really kind of updates the numbers, I mean, it was 515,000 about 9 months ago. Obviously, that number's probably gone up by now. But also, technically, when we approved me going for the grant, we approved the money that it would take to pay for the grant because of the way I worded the motion. But I'm just trying to do things right and bring stuff before council and move forward.
All right, have a motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed?
Is there, and I guess I'm confused. Is there anything that you know of that we need to be doing to solicit this grant? As the mayor?
No, I don't.
And Matt, other than the email that you say that the engineer saying he needs something, you don't really know of anything specific?
Well, he knew just the go ahead to put out for the,
When you say the go ahead, what, we've already applied for the grant, grant's been granted, we've agreed to the matching funds, what's left to be done? Is he got to do some engineering?
yeah, he got to complete the engineering and put it out to bid.
So has he got us a quote? Has he told us what his scope of work is gonna be?
It was part of the original estimate.
So if we've already approved it,
No, I agree.
he should be going forward.
I agree. I was trying to be proper and trying to be transparent.
There's no doubt the grant's been granted, okay? Do you know of any action that anybody up here needs to be taking to make it go forward?
I mean, show us support would be a good start.
Okay. And I appreciate that. So y'all got Brookhaven and you've got 5 other roads.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to take action on Brookhaven and not do anything on those other 5.
Well, we've already taken action on Acton. So, I mean.
No, there was 5 more, that's what I was,
Well,
because they were not on the agenda. And that's what they were saying, is if we were gonna do one, we gotta do the other. And that's what I'm asking.
well, actually not asked to include Brookhaven in that, and I was told no, right?
Right.
So like, if we're not, why, you're asking me, I asked them to do all of them. They said no.
Okay? I have not heard anybody do a motion to do all of them since I've been sitting here.
Well, all right. We voted, this was voted down? All right.
Well, we voted down the rule of suspension because none of it's on the agenda.
Yep.
And y'all, you brought up that it wasn't on the agenda.
My basic thing is just trying to figure out what roads we're voting on, the amounts we're voting on, and everything else.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if we're gonna have it brought to us tonight, why not have it in the packet so we can see what's going on
Right.
Saturday when the packet
Y'all
comes
are
out?
talking about Coochie, Euclid Trace, Lake Road, Scenic Crest, Brookhaven Drive, Old Acton, and then there's another road I didn't get the name.
Sunrise, the ones in Sunrise.
That was it.
Yes, Coogan Lake, Scenic Crest, the road in Magnolia.
Is that Euclid Trace?
Yeah, and then, Woodland Circle.
And then Woodland Circle, well, that's the 5th. So, I mean, before we leave, do y'all want to take action to suspend the rules and do the 250 and address Brookhaven, or do y'all want to leave it for the future?
Well, I want to see the paperwork from the county saying that they're gonna do something too.
That's the Brookhaven 150 map?
Yes.
And you've gotten something from the county that says they're gonna do that?
It's their normal practice. Like they don't have it in writing. I mean, I spoke to the chairman and to Ricky Parker and confirmed, and I spoke with Dan Donkey, the county engineer. But
If you would get something from the county that says that we're gonna give you that 150, I would think that the next meeting you could get action on that.
Okay.
I don't know why you wouldn't, that's free money. Do y'all wanna do anything on any of these others? Okay.
I'd be willing, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules to, allot up to, $400,000 to fix, all 6 of the roads.
What, now we're getting this back into this, I don't know if I'm gonna get
You had the name of the
Okay.
prices.
Well, I don't have the prices in front of me. Let me just, I mean, honestly, we're gonna have to get new quotes anyway, right, Mr. Barker?
I feel better about it. Well, after you go 30 days, then I think they'd honor, we just a few days over the 30 days
on these 5.
Right.
No,
Sir,
I think they will do that.
I think they would. Truthfully, I believe they would.
Over the past 8 months, you've gotten quotes on about 15 different roads to be fixed. And we haven't addressed the first one.
That's right.
Can you bring all those quotes for all those roads to us so we can move forward with it?
We've got
move forward with 5 roads right now.
we've got the motion.
Well, if those 5 roads were that important, James, they should have been on the agenda, don't you think?
So the motion to suspend the rules.
For the arguing with you.
The motion.
That is all we have on the agenda.
All right, I'm going to reword my motion and add, I make a motion that we allot up to 400,000 out of the road repair fund, and to repair all 6 of the roads that have been previously mentioned with 100.
Name those roads, so there's no misunderstanding.
So every drive is up to 150,000. Lake Road, Mr. Parker, can you?
All right, sure. Start off with Lake Road then. UP Trace.
The price.
Well, we gotta do prices on this. We got 150 to Brookhaven Drive. Lake Road was 41,963. Euclid Trace was 10,866.51. Coogan was 11,650. Scenic Crest was 29,642. I did not have a price on Woodland.
14,000.
14?
Yes.
And then the 103.
That's already been done.
Okay.
So that only leaves Sunset, the Crest, and
29.
anything in addition on Brookhaven.
The 103's already been done. It's already
Yes. Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
To suspend the rules to spend up to 400,000 on those roads at those prices.
We're gonna have to hold on. Now,
It's $109,000.
we've already got.
Not counting the repair. 109 plus 150.
That's 150.
Man, this is. Acoustic numbers line. Which one are you missing? Yeah. All right. Euclid Trace is on here. Yeah. What's it? Coogan. I got 12 around here. Okay, 16. We're going to start with 14.
Yes.
Lake Road is 42. And Scenic Crest, 30. Okay, that's $109,000. 103. So, you only need 259 to do all that, including 150 for our program.
All right, I modify my.
He's saying spend up to 400. Then after the rules are suspended, y'all can discuss the amount you're gonna pass. Right now, it's just a motion to suspend the rules to allocate up to that, and then he identified the amounts on each road. That's all that's before you right now. Gotta have a second, and we gotta have a unanimous vote.
And as Harvey mentioned, it's actually only 259 since we've already approved the 109 for 103. Well, the motion to suspend the rules is already on the table.
Can I have a second?
So what's the cost of each proposal?
The total cost was 515 9 months ago when I applied for the grant. 515,000. Yep. They've got to completely shred the road, fix a couple drainage spots, and come back and put an entire new road through seal coat and curb and gutter for the first mile.
And how much is the county going to pay?
Up to 150,000 of what's left. So I got 350 from the grant. That would leave about 265. do my math right. And so the county would pay $120. But if it's, I'm assuming the price is gonna go up now that it's been, time has passed, and, so I'm gonna account for that.
So you don't have anything in writing,
Well, that's what I'm trying to get the go ahead for the engineer for him to get an updated price and do more work. He's gonna bill us for the time he puts into this, and so I wanted to make sure the council was aware of. So the county is like.
Did you like see the email or something say you would been approved for this amount?
No, typically you go before and talk to them, and they do it as part of the agenda, but it's their standard policy. They do it for any city if any city gets a grant for road work, the county will match up to 150. That's their standard policy. So like the 100,000 they gave us, that's a whole different thing. This is something they do every year, but it's only matching your part of the grant. So we would have to get grants to get it. But it's money that, with this grant, since we have the grant, this money would be leaving on the table. I mean, it's a guaranteed thing. I mean, I can get it in writing if you like, but it's what they do. They did it for Argo. I was there during the council meeting, or the commission meeting, when they had 150 to Argo. They give Moody and Springfield money almost every year. It's their standard practice.
But may I ask a question? You said the total amount you think of Brookhaven is going to be 550?
515 was the original quote.
No, but you're guessing
yeah,
550. You said the grants for 350?
Yes.
That one leaves 200.
Oh, yep, no, you're right.
So that means if the county will pay half of that, they're going to pay 100, and Brookhaven will pay 100. So with that 100, I mean, you know, you're just a little over 200, like we first talked about doing something, and you still pay me all these other 5 roads too.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Matt? It's for Matt. You let him ask a question. Can I ask the question?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Matt.
He's the chair.
I'm talking to you. You answered him. I'm talking to you. For the repairs on that road, do you not have to have permission from the residents to tear up their driveways? Also, what about the HOA? What do you do with that money? Do you not do any repairs to your neighborhood with that money that you all collect from the HOA fees from those people there?
It is a city road, and there's right of ways, and so road work is expected. I mean, and it's granted, it's within the power of the city to do. I mean, just like if we do Coogan Drive, I mean, that's people's driveways on Coogan Drive as well.
Well, I'm talking about Brookhaven. We're not going to Coogan Drive. We're talking about Brookhaven. So do you have permission from those individuals to tear up their driveways?
There should be no driveways torn up, but it's not. It's in the right of way. Like that's the way the process works.
And I agree with David. We have a lot of roads in Margaret that need to be repaired. And you're talking about fixing just your neighborhood. That's all you focus on, is your neighborhood.
Mr. Barker, could you explain the construction process?
He don't have to explain it. I understand it. I'm talking to you about the questions that I asked.
All right, let's get back on the agenda.
Okay, we got a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second? If not, motion dies for lack of a second. Any other comments for the adjournment?
Nope. Yep. So we've had, I mentioned this when I started this conversation. So we've had the mayor pro tem position open for months. So we need to address that position. It'd be fine waiting for the next meeting, but it's, we have not appointed a mayor pro tem since the appointment of the mayor. The time for council pay can be increased before, within a certain time period before every election. It doesn't go into effect until the next election for fairness. And so, for the next agenda, we need to discuss council pay and what we're going to do about council pay. Our water, I've sat down with David before and talked about the water income and water budget and employees, but if we're talking about a budget for the city, we need to include the public works. All this conversation we've been having about roads, if we had a capital improvement plan, this would be part of that. We've had money allocated every year for road repairs, and we would just take that money and spend it on the projects that we can afford for that year. And so I really would like to see us work on a capital improvement plan so that this isn't a debate every year. We have the public works that has a list of roads, and they get okay, and they move forward with repairing those roads every year. We have $5.4 million in the bank right now. We just lost a grant for radios because we had too much money in the bank, and we're arguing over repairing roads when we've got a significant amount of money in the account. But we should discuss what a proper reserve is for the city our size and with the revenue we have coming and going. Harvey has been here for almost 2 years, working to get the license transferred from under the railroad crossing that he paid to have done, and then has paid for multiple years to the rental fee to the railroad. Is it signed?
They're working on it.
Go work on it.
Yeah.
And and then Councilman Ray previously brought up employee pay, and that just disappeared. Conversation was not continued, and so I'd like to see that come back and be discussed as the year ends coming up. And all these
Whenever
things.
you're done.
Go right ahead.
That was my topic, whenever you're done. I can make a motion to give our city employees a 4% increase. And we something we do every year. I'd like to currently make that motion.
Malcolm Ray made a motion, I need a second.
That's for all city employees, part-time and full-time.
You're gonna have to suspend the rules first.
We've already talked about it.
About a month and a half ago, it was just dropped off of the Board of Business.
You discussed a 4% pay raise and a motion.
He
to pay.
discussed-
made a motion
discussed
for
pay
5%
raises.
previously.
Yeah, but discussing it and making, that's what you have to do. You gotta discuss it and take a thing of action that they have the ability to think about.
He did. He made a motion for 5% a month and a half ago.
Five, not 4. I'm saying, it's gotta be the same action.
As long as it's been brought up previous.
You can try.
All right, Jonathan made the motion, need a second.
I'll second it, but I would like to see all the pay rates as they are.
You wanna do it or you don't wanna do it?
I second it.
So what is it you wanna see?
The list of the pay rates and where everyone's at.
So you're gonna prove it and you don't know what the pay rates are?
I know roughly, but it's been a while and we got a lot more employees, and so we'll see what the range is across the board.
And who would you propose to get you this information?
Well, city clerk would typically get it, but there's only one
You
person
think
who
she
does the
has
payroll.
time to get you every employee's
Well,
pay schedule?
she's done it every other year and brought it before us.
Okay.
Jonathan made the motion, Matt seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
2 years.
All opposed?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, since we're talking about radios, I think Councilman Terry Reese said he had a plan for the radios coming months back. What are we at for the radios?
I was looking at a couple grants, but they've already expired. Because we're waiting on Brandon to get your back about those radios, and so by the time he heard about them, the grants I looked at had expired.
And I think we are one of the last ones to get the radios, and they're out for the move everything in effect, so it's a possibility we might go into the new year not having radios.
There's four current cities in the county that's already operating on the new system.
Anything else? Need a motion to adjourn.
Allow the crowd to speak.
I made a motion.
Second.
All in favor?